So, lesson number 1 in filmmaking. Always make sure you've double-checked all your gear and it's doing what it's supposed to do before you start filming. I have this little Tascam recorder that is hooked to my lav mic, and I thought I turned it on and started recording because it's got this handy little feature where you can just slide it up and it turns on and starts recording. I slid down. All that does is turn it on. So in that fun little intro you saw there was no audio. It wasn't recording. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I've got 3 main goals. I want to inspire you, I want to entertain you, and I want to educate you. I hope the first 4 or 5 videos that I've done have at least entertained you, and I hope that some of them have inspired some of you to do things that you've been wanting to do and just haven't done it. One thing that I haven't done yet is to try to educate you, and that would be through tutorials. Now, I really believe that if a tutorial is already out there from somebody like a Peter McKinnon or a Sidney DeAngzen and it's done really well, there's no point in redoing it. I can just point you to those tutorials. My brother and I have planned a fun Halloween short film that we're going to release on the channel in October. And one of the things that we're going to try in this new format, and if you guys like it, we're going to do some more like it, is to break character and ask, hey, how'd you do that? And then we'll put a link to a tutorial somewhere on the screen and we'll put it in the description, and it'll link out to other creators and it'll help those creators build their community. However, when I find a situation where there's not a tutorial in existence or just not one that I really like, then I'm gonna create my own and we'll link out to those from there. This is the first one. I searched quite a bit the other day for a good tutorial that I could link to in this video about creating a lightning effect in your short film, and I couldn't really find one that I like. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you how you can create a cool lightning effect with just your camera and 2 other pieces of equipment. So before we start, I kind of want to walk you through a little bit of the setup. You can see it's daytime out, right? I want this to be a night shot, and it's easier to achieve a nighttime look filming during the day and then using color grading to achieve the night look. And the reason for that is if you try to film something at night, there's not a lot of light to capture the things you want. So the other 2 pieces of equipment that we're going to use are a neutral density filter and a speed light. So this is a neutral density filter. It's the variable type, and what it does is it screws onto the end of your lens and helps you limit the amount of light coming into the sensor. And that's going to help us achieve more of that night look because we're going to have the sunlight out. It's going to help us capture the details that we want, but I'm going to use that to dial down as much light as I can stand and still have a good shot. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about neutral density filters because they've already been explained well a number of times. In fact, I'll link to Peter McKinnon's tutorial in the description below. If you want more information about them, check that out. It's really good. The other piece of equipment we're going to need is some sort of light that we can manipulate. In this case, we're going to use my speed light. You could also use a strobe. You could even use just a plain old flashlight or some other kind of light that you can quickly manipulate on and off. Okay, so this is my Sony speed light, and you're going to see when I turn it on, this setting right here is 1:1, and we're going to change that. And the reason being, the way that we're going to create this lightning effect is to use the test button to manually fire the flash and illuminate the area that we want to be covered in lightning. So if you see, 1:1 is the highest power, and when I fire that, and I'm going to push the button repeatedly here, it only goes off once, and then about 2 seconds later it goes off again, but not even at full power. So what we're going to do is go into the function menu, and this is going to be different depending on the light that you have, but we're going to roll this back to somewhere in the 1/8 range, and you'll see now when I repeatedly press the button, I can get almost 12 shots before it needs to refresh. Towards the end, some of those are not quite as powerful, but it allows us to get a lot so you can get that flickering effect. So let's take this down into my backyard and frame up a shot and see what we can come up with. So we've got our shot framed up, and the first thing you're going to notice is that it's quite bright. I mean, this might be a good exposure for just a regular daytime shot, but like I said, I want this to appear as if it were at night. So we're going to take that neutral density filter and spin it and dial it way back until we've got quite a dark exposure, just about like that. And then we're simply going to stand off to the side a little, and we're going to randomly fire this flash into the area of our subject to achieve the effect. And that's all there is to it. So let's take this inside, throw it in Premiere, and see what it looks like. Okay, so I brought the clip into Premiere and I pulled out one little chunk that we want to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and play what it looks like right off the camera for you. So you see we have just a few simple flashes there. So what we essentially want to do is come over to the color section of Premiere, and let's find a spot where we have a flash of light. And basically what I want to do is come into the curves section first, and I'm going to pull those shadows down quite a bit, and I'm even going to pull those mids down a little bit more. I'm going to bump the highlights up just a touch. We might want, let's get off of the flash. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit more. Okay. Then we're going to go back to our basic, and we're going to bring up the saturation just a touch, up to the 130 range is where I tend to like it. Now we want to bring the color temperature and make it a little bit cooler. And then we're going to bring the exposure down as well. Just a touch, not too much. Bring our shadows down a little bit. I'm going to bring the blacks down quite a bit. I'm going to pop the highlights a little bit and give it some contrast. And that's just a quick, dirty version. If I were doing this for real, I would probably be coming down into my color wheels and manipulating the tones a little bit. However, I think these settings work pretty well just to show you quickly in 1 or 2 minutes how you can shoot something during the day and achieve a nighttime look. So let's get rid of these color settings, come back over to editing, and just play through this really quick. Okay, so there you have it. I hope this was helpful. I hope if you've been trying to figure out how to create a lightning effect in your film, that this is going to help you accomplish that. If this video was helpful to you, I'd really appreciate it if you click the like button down below. Also, if you like the material here and you want to see more, click the subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications when I release new videos. In the description below, I'm including a link to Peter McKinnon's tutorial on neutral density filters. I'm also including another tutorial I found that gives you advice on shooting during the day when you want a nighttime look. And if you do film something with lightning in it and you use this tutorial, I'd really love to see what it is you created. So leave a link in the comments down below and I'll check it out. So until next time, I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. And don't forget, if you're doing this, go out to Epidemic Sound or whatever website it is you like to get your music and sound from. Get some creepy music, get some rain, get some thunder, any other sound effects that you think might work to just give you a nice creepy feel. Put it all together and this is what you got.